Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our topic discussion is semantic roles. We are from group 3 consists of Ahmad Muhtarudin, Wardah Nabila Syah, Anissa Ikhlasul Amalia, Anissa Sabratul Sapida, Alifa Maulidia Farha, Wayan Sari Norsofa, and Wasti. And I, Anissa Ikhlasul Amalia, as a first speaker. What is semantic roles? A semantic roles is the underlying relationship that a participant has with the main verb in a clause. Semantic roles explain about relationship between participants and main verb in a clause. We have 4 points or 4 parts. For first point is sentence in and proposition. Second is valency. Third is some change in valency, and at the end of the session is conclusion. First, sentence and proposition. What is sentence? A sentence is a grammatical unit consisting of 2 or more words that bear minimal syntactic relation to the words that precede or follow it. A sentence focus on grammatical. If you want to make a sentence, you have to carefully in grammatical. For example, we walk in the park. We as participant or subject, walk is verb in the park. Jadi kita berjalan di taman. It's a good grammatical. But if you write in walk, we in the park, it's wrong grammatical. So you have to focus on grammatical if you want to make a sentence.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about proposition. Firstly, what is the basic difference between proposition and sentence? It is about grammatical and meaning. As the description of sentence is syntactically, while proposition is semantically. So simply we can say sentence talks about the structure or grammatical, while proposition talks about meaning. Now let's take a look on the first sentence, on the first example. We walk in the park. It is a good sentence. Grammatically is correct because it includes subject, predicate, and object. It is also proposition because it includes a meaning. Then, the second, our walk in the park. As grammatically, it is not wrong. It is not correct. It's incorrect because our cannot be called as subject. The subject of our is we, so we can add we enjoyed walk in the park to be the good sentence. But it is the proposition because we know the meaning, we know the aim. And the last, for us to walk in the park. The grammatically is wrong. It must be added, it is not too late for us to walk in the park. An English sentence has certain kinds of modification that we call inflection. Inflection includes tense such as walk, walked, and aspect such as are walking, have walked, and modality may walk, could walk. Jika kita memisahkan inflection dan proposition dalam contoh, verb be, am, is, are, was, were tidak memiliki makna. Mereka adalah bagian dari struktur sintaks sebuah kalimat tetapi bukan struktur semantik. Maka dari itu kita bisa menyimpulkan bahwa inflection adalah sebuah kata atau sebuah struktur dalam kalimat yang harus ada ketika kita akan membuat sebuah kalimat yang benar secara gramatically. Seperti itu. Dalam semantic analysis, every proposition contains one predicate and a varying number of referring expressions, noun phrase yang kita sebut arguments. Berangkat dari arguments dalam sebuah proposition atau kalimat, kita menyebutnya valency. We know about valency. What is valency? Valency theory is a description of the semantic potential of predicates in terms of the number and types of arguments which may co-occur with them. Valency refers to the capacity of a verb to take a specific number and types of arguments, noun phrase positions. Jika kita bicara makna sebuah kalimat atau kata, kita akan mendefinisikan terlebih dahulu posisi dari sebuah kata atau sebuah proposisi dari sebuah kalimat tersebut. Valensi yang membantu kita dalam membedakan posisi arguments tersebut seperti actor like that, affected, affecting, agent, associate, effect, place, and theme. Dari dalam sebuah kalimat itu jadi pasti akan mengandung objek atau subjek. Tetapi dari subjek dan objek tersebut memiliki peran-peran tersendiri lagi secara semantik. Seperti aktor, affected yang bisa dibaca sendiri, bisa dipahami sendiri, bahwa dalam sebuah kalimat pasti akan memiliki peran-peran yang berbeda-beda. Maka dari itu, kita bisa membedakan valensi tersebut menjadi 3. Di bab ini, kita akan membedakan valensi menjadi 3. Yang pertama, valensi 0, valensi 1, and valensi 2. It will be explained by the next presenters. Thank you.
Next, I would like to present about valency 0. For example, it is snowing. The above sentence has a snow verb and subject, but it does not refer to anything. The sentence has a subject because English requires a subject, but does not conform to understand underlying propositions. Which is now, which is a zero argument verb. The other zero argument sentence as follow. It is raining. It is lit. It has been thundering. England needs it with weather verbs such as rain, snow, sleet, thunder, but it does not refer to anything. The verb is a few example in language that do not require a reference to mention a sentence. Verb and aspects should be shown. Rains, run down, it's snowing, has been snowing. An indication of time and place can be added. For example, yesterday, in the west, and others, but complete sentence without something being referenced.
Okay, my name is Farah Nabila Shah, and now I want to continue the next explanation. This is about valency 1. What is valency 1? Valency 1 is one argument predicate contain a verb that has a subject but no object, which means an intransitive verb, or the predicate that requires only one argument as the subject without object. And for example, my brother snores. In here, brother is argument or subject, and snores in here as predicate or verb. I give you more example about valency 1. You can see. I give you 3 example about valency 1. The first, the dog is sleeping. The second, Larry laughs. And the third, the earth rotates. Now let's consider the roles that the argument have. In the predicate, sleep, laugh, and rotate express action. They tell what the dog, Larry, and the earth do respectively. Consequently, each of these arguments names an actor that carry out the action. So, valency 1 is the sentence has a subject, verb, but no object. The sentence uses intransitive verb or one argument predicate. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Valency 2. What is valency 2? Valency 2 is the sentence which having subject and object both are known to have two arguments predicted. The argument will occur in the role of agent or action or affected, agent or action or effect,
actor or action or place, affecting or effect or affected, affected or effect or affecting, theme or link or associate. A list of possible semantic rules is as follows. Actor is the role of an argument that performs some action without affecting any entity. Affected is the role of an argument that undergoes a change due to some event or is affected by some other entity. Affecting is the role of an argument that, without any action, affects other entity. Agent is the role of an argument that by its action affects some other entity. Associate is the role of an argument that tells the status or identity of another argument. Effect is the role of an argument that comes into existence through the action of the predicate. Place is the role of an argument that names the location in which the action of the predicate occurs. Theme is the role of an argument that is the topic of a predicate that does not express any action. A stative predicate. Example: he is made a little frame. He is argument 1. Made as a predicate and frame as a argument 2. And argument 1 is as a agent, predicate as action, argument 2 as effect. Here the subject did some action as a result of which something comes into existence. Thus, he refers to Creaker whose mother was telling the chief clerk that he likes to create things in his leisure time and he has made a little photo frame too. Thus, without second argument, the meaning would be incomplete. Hence, they need for the rule of the second argument is justified.
Okay, in the previous PPT, we explained what valency is, and here I'm mentioning Mustafa. I want to tell about some change in valency. What is something valency? So in here, we need to take account not only of how many arguments a verb may have, but also how many it must have. For example, Agnes wrote her mother a letter, and it's possible to omit her mother or a letter, or both of them, and say just Agnes wrote or Agnes wrote a letter. And I think the sentence is less informative when it has fewer arguments, but it is a legitimate sentence and the meaning of right does not change. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, next I will conclude the material from our group. A sentence is defined as a composite of inflection and proposition. So the combination of an inflection and a proposition is called sentence. Proposition consists of a subject and predicate, and inflection includes agreement and tense. So the proposition about the subject and predicate, and the inflection about the agreement and tense. Agreement is the formal bond between subject and predicate, a bond that varies considerably from one language to another's, while a stance is a system of contrasts that locates the general meaning of the proposition in the past, present, or future from the time perspective of the speakers. And different language have quite different tense system. Okay, so that's the conclusion of our group material. We hope the explanation from our group can be understood easily, and we apologize if there are errors in the delivery of our material. So, thank you so much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.